Well, I'm back for day 2 on the Ferrari, but I need this lift cart to actually get the engine and stuff out of the car. I'm not ready to take it out yet, but I will be soon-ish, hopefully. So, debating how far I want to tear this thing down right now. It would probably make sense to try to take the turbo manifold off and probably that differential. I should maybe actually put it in the back of the Fiat and bring it home. I wasn't counting on that. I totally forgot about it. Oops. So, we'll see. I gotta deal something with this. I may just use the picker, take it off, set it aside for now. But since I'm doing all this work, I probably will put it in my car. So, I'm gonna get a late start to this evening, unfortunately. Now, let me turn down the fan a little bit here. So, got the cart off of there into the Fiat. Now, I took off the center under panel, and now that the AC is degassed, I went ahead and took the lines off and set them aside. So next step for me is there's a through bolt. Give it a second. There's a through bolt right there in the linkage. I take that off entirely. Now once that's off, I push the entire shift linkage toward the transmission into third gear. You can see this already has an alignment mark on it from when somebody else did the belt service on this thing previously. That was easy. I'm going to put the through bolt back through the linkage so I don't lose it. I just pop the shifter back into third. And now what they recommend is actually undo this. But there's another through bolt back there, so... Oh, right. It's because you have to slide the linkage forward. So undo the jam nut, and then you're going to unthread the black piece all the way from the shift linkage. And then you should be able to fish it down and out and get it out of the way. That looks like a 17 or a 19. So I'm actually about to bring the car down, but there's a few things I'm going to do here. Parking brake, another jam nut. It's normally through this thing right here. Oh, shoot. A lot of fun stuff here. Jam nut, main nut, spring, and just sort of set it aside. Brake line, clutch line. There's another one on the other side with just a brake line. You're going to need to undo those. You don't want to catch the fluid that comes out, obviously. And unfortunately, this is as far as the best DIY got me on the service. So I'm going to have to be going a lot slower now and double checking everything. I know for sure I have to drain coolant. So both those pipes are up there at the top. I know I have to disconnect the fuel line, which is right here. It goes to the top of the engine. I'll take a peek and see what makes the most sense there. Beyond that, looks like ABS sensors. Those have to be disconnected. There's the other brake line I was telling you about. Definitely some of these oil hoses. I know you can take the bottle out with the car, however most of the time I see people leave it in, so that's something I'll have to try to do some research on. I believe this one stays on, so that just goes over the subframe here. Yeah, again, this is from here on out a total mystery, basically. I did take off, there's one of these on each side, 10 mil. There's two 17s up there on each side, and two 13s over here. Once those are off, I believe the bumper, oh yeah, electrical plugs too. Looks like these are easier to do underneath the car. So, those as well. License plate light. Probably need 2 hands for this one. We'll see. Yep. Anyway, undo those, undo the tail lights. There we go. Then I'll take the rear bumper off and just start kind of looking at what all needs to be removed at this point. So there she is without the rear bumper and heat shield. Drop this protective cover back down. Still a lot of stuff to undo. I'm actually going to lower the car down a little bit more here. So it looks like fuel line is a for sure yes. Beyond that, I actually don't see a whole lot more. I'm just kind of going through the process that I normally go through on my BMWs when I do an engine out. A little bit different, but similar. Really, I think as long as I can drain the coolant effectively and the oil, which I may Google right now just to make sure I'm on the up and up. My main question is I wonder if I take the fuel distribution off the top or if I just take it off the filter. I think I'll probably do the filter because I have a new one. And then as far as the exhaust goes, it sure looks like I'm gonna have to disconnect that from the headers. This looks like it's pretty solidly mounted into the back of the car. Doesn't look very difficult to remove, but I'm just not sure what I'll have to do. So I think some Googling is next. Well, after taking a quick look in the engine bay and a couple of photos online, I remembered that, yeah, of course, there's an ECU in here that has to be dealt with as well. So I believe this is the Motronic 5.2 engine computer. I'm going to check the other side as well. Even though the late cars only have one ECU and the earlies have two, there's two panels on this thing, so I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm just going to pull down the carpet here. Luckily, these connectors are exactly the same as the BMW variety. And with two hands, I will be able to pull that off and set it aside, fish it through the firewall, and set it on top of the engine. Or at least in the front of it.
Unlike before where you were just
So I didn't get that done yet. But the upper radiator hose is disconnected. The 3 or 4 coolant capillaries are disconnected. Fuel line's disconnected. Cat back exhaust is out. Secondary air injection pipe is out. Pyrometers are disconnected. This car apparently has sport cats in it, which is cool. I'm not sure what brand they are. I'll have to do some research and snap a photo. But also pulled, I guess, the plug wires. Checked them out. The number 3 plug wire is flat spotted and bad. So I have the Kingsborn wires ready to go in with the new plugs and all that. But coolant's drained. First step for the next day working on it is disconnect the oil reservoir, disconnect the throttle cable, drain the oil. There's no more coolant in it, so that's good. Brake lines, clutch line are disconnected. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Alright, there's the exhaust. And the secondary cat pipe. Oofda.